There is a terrifying reason why you have felt an unusual pressure in your home lately. It is not just stress, and it is not just the economy or the changing seasons. There is a specific targeted surveillance happening in the spiritual realm regarding your next step, and the instruction I have been given to deliver to you today is urgent. It is a command that has echoed through the corridors of eternity for those who are on the brink of a massive promotion, yet it is the hardest command to follow in our modern world. The instruction is simple. Keep your mouth shut. This is about your home. This is about the sanctity of your private space and the future that is being birthed within your walls. You have been feeling the urge to share, to vent, to explain yourself, or to announce your plans. But a higher authority is putting a hand over your mouth right now. Before you speak another word to that friend, before you post another update, attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life. A guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you, and strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10 Zuzazara readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who are tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment. Before you complain about that situation one more time, you need to understand that you are in a delicate incubation period. The enemy is not attacking you with swords and shields. He is attacking you with bait, trying to hook you into a conversation that will drain your power. We are going to go deep today. I'm going to reveal to you exactly why your words are the primary currency in this spiritual war, and how the enemy has been using your own voice to delay your blessings. There is a science to this, and there is a deep spiritual law at play. If you have been wondering why things seem to fall apart the moment you speak about them, or why peace evaporates from your home after certain phone calls, you are about to find the answer. The next few minutes will not just change how you communicate, they will change the atmosphere of your living room. We are going to uncover the strategy of silence that Jesus used, the mistake that King Hezekiah made that cost him his legacy, and the psychological trigger that makes you want to overshare when you are insecure. But first, you must make a decision right now to listen with your spirit, not just your ears. The information I am about to release is sensitive. It is intended for those who are ready to graduate from noise to power. Consider the last time you had a brilliant idea or a moment of pure joy. You felt invincible, the energy was high, and your heart was full. Then you picked up the phone. You called someone you thought was safe, a family member, a colleague, an old friend. You shared the news. Within minutes, you felt the air leave the balloon. Maybe they asked a cynical question. Maybe they went silent. Maybe they shifted the topic to their own problems. Suddenly, your joy turned into doubt. You went from feeling blessed to feeling heavy. What happened there? You violated a spiritual protocol. You cast your pearls before swine. Or perhaps you simply exposed a seed to the harsh sun before it had taken root. This is not about people being bad. It is about people not being assigned to your altitude. When you speak to people who are not at your level of spiritual maturity, their lack of understanding becomes a vacuum that sucks the life out of your vision. Your home is supposed to be a fortress. In ancient times, the walls of a city were its primary defense. If there was a breach in the wall, the enemy could enter at will. In the spiritual realm, your mouth is the gate to your city. Your home, your family, your finances, your peace is the city. When you open your mouth without divine authorization, you are leaving the gate wide open. You are inviting influences into your home that have no business being there. Have you noticed that arguments with your spouse often start after you have spent time talking to certain people? Have you noticed that your children seem more restless when the television has been blaring negative news, or when you have been on the phone complaining about work? Your words carry a frequency, they carry a vibration. When you speak fear, you are painting the walls of your home with the color of anxiety. When you speak frustration, you are decorating your sanctuary with stress. But there is something even more sinister at play. There are forces, let's call them monitoring spirits, that are assigned to watch your progress. These are not always demons in the traditional sense. Sometimes they manifest through the curiosity of envious neighbors, the prying questions of competitive co-workers, or even the concern of family members who subconsciously want you to stay the same. They are watching for your next move. They cannot read your mind. This is a crucial theological and spiritual distinction you must understand. The enemy is not omniscient. He does not know what God has whispered in your heart. He only knows what you reveal. When you speak your plans aloud, you are handing the enemy the blueprints to sabotage your future. You are broadcasting your location on the spiritual radar. Jesus understood this perfectly. Throughout the Gospels, how many times did he heal someone and then immediately say, "Tell no one"? Have you ever stopped to ask why? Was he trying to be humble? Perhaps, but there was a strategic reason. Jesus knew that premature fame, premature exposure, or the wrong kind of attention would hinder his mission. He knew that there is a time to hide and a time to be revealed. He operated in what I call strategic obscurity. He moved in silence until the appointed time. Even when he stood before Pontius Pilate, facing the death penalty, the scripture says, he answered him not a word. Imagine the self-control that required. He had the power to call down legions of angels. He had the wisdom to out-debate any philosopher, yet he chose silence. Why? Because his purpose was greater than his need to be right. His destiny was more important than his defense. You are likely in a season where you feel the need to defend yourself. Maybe there are rumors circulating about you at work. Maybe there is a misunderstanding in your extended family. The urge to set the record straight is burning inside you. But I am here to tell you, let it burn. Do not speak. Your defense is not your job. It is God's job. When you try to be your own defender, you step out of the covering of grace and into the arena of flesh. And in the arena of flesh, you can be beaten. But when you remain silent, you invite heaven to speak on your behalf. And when heaven speaks, the earth trembles. Let's look at the psychology of this for a moment. Why do we talk so much? Why do we feel this compulsion to fill the silence? Neuroscientists tell us that talking about ourselves triggers the same pleasure centers in the brain as food or money. It releases dopamine. It feels good to vent. It feels good to brag. It feels good to complain and get sympathy. But this is a cheap high. It is a temporary relief that costs you long-term power. Every time you leak your intentions, you dissipate the energy needed to execute them. There is a concept called social reality. When you tell someone you are going to write a book, or start a business, or lose weight, your brain registers the goal as done just because you said it. You get the premature satisfaction of the achievement without doing the work. This is why people who talk the most often achieve the least. Silence creates pressure. It creates a container where the energy builds up stronger and stronger until it explodes into action. If you want to see massive results in your life, you need to stop leaking your steam. Before I reveal the 3 specific types of people you must absolutely hide your dreams from, I want you to take a moment and think about the atmosphere in your kitchen. The kitchen is the heart of the home. What conversations happen there? Are they filled with life, hope, and gratitude, or are they filled with gossip about others, complaints about the boss, and worries about bills? Your children are absorbing this. Your walls are absorbing this. You are programming your reality with every syllable. If you want to change your life, you have to change your tongue. And sometimes the most powerful change is simply to stop talking. Now let's talk about the danger of the friendly spy. In the book of 2 Kings, there is a story about Hezekiah. He was a good king. He had just been healed from a fatal illness and had received a miraculous victory. Ambassadors from Babylon came to visit him. Flattered by the attention of a superpower nation, Hezekiah showed them everything. He opened his treasure house. He showed them the silver, the gold, the spices, the armory. He held nothing back. He thought he was building an alliance. He thought he was impressing his friends. But when the prophet Isaiah came to him, he asked, "What have they seen in your house?" Hezekiah proudly replied, "They have seen everything." Isaiah then delivered a devastating prophecy. "Because you showed them everything, everything will be taken away to Babylon. Nothing will be left." This is a chilling warning for us today. Hezekiah lost his legacy because he couldn't keep his mouth shut. He mistook attention for affection. He mistook curiosity for loyalty. Just because someone asks you, "How is business going?" or "Are you guys planning to have another baby?" does not mean they are rooting for you. They might be gathering intelligence for the enemy. They might be looking for cracks in your armor. When you show people your treasures, your ideas, your intimate marriage moments, your financial wins, before God says it is time, you are inviting plunder. You are showing the thief exactly where the safe is located. I know this sounds intense. You might be thinking, can I trust no one? Am I supposed to live in isolation? No. Isolation is dangerous, but insulation is necessary. You need a circle of trust, but that circle is likely much smaller than you think. Jesus had the multitudes, then the 70, then the 12, then the 3, Peter, James, and John, and finally the one, John, the beloved. He did not share the same level of information with the 70 that he shared with the 3. He took only 3 up the Mount of Transfiguration. Why? Because the others couldn't handle the glory. They would have misunderstood it. If you try to take multitude people into mountain experiences, you will cause confusion and chaos. You must discern who can handle the weight of your glory. There is a specific trap the enemy sets called the bait of offense. It usually happens in your home. You come home tired. Your spouse says something slightly irritating. Your teenager rolls their eyes. Immediately a sentence forms in your mind. It is sharp, it is witty, and it will hurt. You feel the urge to launch this verbal missile. This is the critical moment. This is the fork in the road of your destiny. If you release that word, you are not just having an argument. You are agreeing with a spirit of division. You are tearing down your own house with your own hands. But if you catch that word, if you bite your tongue, if you choose silence in that moment of heat, you have just won a major spiritual victory. You have exercised the fruit of the Spirit called self-control. You have protected the atmosphere of your home. Silence is not weakness. Let me repeat that because the world has lied to you. The world tells you that the loudest person in the room is the leader. The world tells you that if you don't clap back, you are a doormat. That is a lie from the pit. Silence is the ultimate display of strength. It takes more muscle to hold back a wild horse than to let it run. It takes more power to remain calm in the face of accusation than to scream. When you are silent, you remain an enigma. Your adversary cannot figure out your next move. They don't know if you are angry, planning, or unbothered. You become unpredictable, and in warfare, unpredictability is a tactical advantage. This brings us to the concept of incubation. A seed in the ground grows in darkness. It grows in silence. If you dig it up every day to see if it's growing, you kill it. Your dreams, your healing, your restoration, they are seeds. They need the dark, quiet, warm soil of privacy to germinate. There are things God is doing in your life right now that are in the embryonic stage. They are fragile. They cannot survive the harsh criticism of your skeptical uncle or the jealous side glance of your frenemy. You must protect the embryo. You must be like Mary, the mother of Jesus, who pondered these things in her heart. She didn't run to the town square with a megaphone. She held the mystery inside. She let it grow. I want to challenge you with a practical experiment. For the next 7 days, try the 72-hour rule. If you receive good news, wait 72 hours before sharing it with anyone outside your absolute inner circle. If you receive bad news or an insult, wait 72 hours before responding. Watch what happens. In those 72 hours, your emotions will settle, your perspective will shift. You will hear God's voice more clearly. You will often find that the burning need to speak evaporates, replaced by a quiet confidence. You will find that the insult that seems so huge on Tuesday feels irrelevant on Friday. You are reclaiming your power. You are stepping out of reaction mode and into creation mode. This is especially true for your home. Your home is under attack because your home is a threat to the kingdom of darkness. A unified, peaceful, God-fearing home is a weapon. It produces children who are stable and dangerous to the enemy. It produces a marriage that models the love of Christ. The enemy wants to turn your home into a war zone of words. He wants the last thing you do at night to be arguing and the first thing you do in the morning to be complaining. You have to break this cycle. You have to declare a no-fly zone over your house for negative words. There is a heavy realization coming to many of you right now. You have been the source of your own delays. You have talked your way out of promotions. You have complained your way out of peace. You have gossiped your way out of favor. It is a hard pill to swallow, but the medicine is necessary. The Bible says, life and death are in the power of the tongue. This is not a metaphor. It is spiritual physics. When you say, I'm never going to get out of debt, you are signing a contract with poverty. When you say, my husband is so lazy, you are reinforcing that behavior. You are cursing your own life. But the good news is, you can cancel those contracts. You can break those agreements. It starts with silence, and it follows with new speech. But before you can speak life, you must learn to stop speaking death. You must go through a detox. This is why the instruction, keep your mouth shut, is so vital right now. You need to reset your spiritual palate. You need to starve the demons that feed on your drama. Did you know that conflict feeds certain spiritual entities? They thrive on the energy of strife. When you refuse to argue, you starve them out. They have to go somewhere else to find food. When you refuse to gossip, the spirit of discord has no place to land. You become Teflon to the enemy. Let's go deeper into the monitoring spirits. These entities are real. They watch for patterns. They know that every time you get a little bit of money, you get excited and buy something you don't need. Or you tell everyone about it, and then an emergency happens. They know your triggers. They know that if they can get that one person to make that one comment about your weight, you will spiral into depression for 3 days. They are studying you. Silence disrupts their data collection. When you stop reacting predictably, you confuse the algorithm of hell. You become a moving target. If you move in silence, they cannot see you. You are camouflaged by the glory of God. Imagine you are a soldier in enemy territory. Would you walk around shouting your name and rank? Would you broadcast your radio frequency? No. You would use hand signals. You would move stealthily. You would communicate only on encrypted channels. You are in enemy territory. The world system is not your friend. The corporate ladder is not designed for your spiritual growth. The media is not feeding your soul. You are an ambassador of a different kingdom, operating behind enemy lines. You must adopt the tactics of a spiritual special forces operator. Silence is your stealth mode. There is a specific type of person you must be wary of. The questioner. This person always asks for details. How much did that cost? Who are you dating? Why did you leave that job? What is your 5-year plan? They cloak their interrogation as interest, but their spirit feels invasive. You feel a check in your gut when you talk to them. Listen to that check. That is the Holy Spirit engaging the emergency brake. You do not owe them an answer. You can smile and say, "I'm just waiting on the Lord for that," or "I'm keeping that private for now." Their reaction to your boundary will reveal their true intent. If they get offended or push harder, you know you are dealing with a monitoring spirit. If they respect your boundary, they are safe. I want to speak directly to the parents watching this. Your children are watching how you handle conflict. If you explode every time something goes wrong, you are teaching them that emotions are their master. But if you show them the power of a pause, the power of taking a breath and choosing not to speak until you are calm, you are giving them a tool that will serve them for the rest of their lives. You are breaking generational curses of anger and strife. It stops with you. It stops with your silence. And what about your dreams, the visions you have seen in the night, the business idea that keeps you up, the ministry you want to launch? These are the babies of your spirit. Herod wanted to kill the baby Jesus. He pretended he wanted to worship him, but he wanted to destroy him. There are Herods in your life who pretend to want to support your dream, but they are threatened by your potential. If you tell them too soon, they will sow seeds of doubt. Are you sure you have the money for that? Don't you think you're too old? I knew someone who tried that and failed. These words are poison. They can kill a dream before it takes its first breath. Keep it secret. Keep it safe. Work on it in the dark. Build the website before you announce the business. Write the book before you show the cover. Let the results be your announcement. There is a profound peace that comes when you stop needing to be understood. Many of us talk because we want validation. We want someone to say, "You're right, that person treated you badly." We want someone to say, "Wow, you're so smart." But when you know who you are in God, you don't need man's applause. You don't need their sympathy. You are content with God's approval. This is a high level of spiritual maturity. It is the place of rest. And in this place of rest, God can trust you with serious power. The instruction, "Keep your mouth shut," is also about listening. You cannot listen if you are talking. God is speaking all the time, but his voice is a still, small voice. It is a whisper. If your life is loud, if your mouth is always moving, you will miss the instructions. He might be whispering the solution to that financial problem, but you are too busy complaining about the problem to hear the solution. He might be giving you a warning about a person, but you are too busy trying to impress them to feel the warning. Silence clears the channel. It tunes your receiver to the frequency of heaven. I feel a heaviness lift as I say this. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You can resign from the job of image manager. You can take off the mask. You can stop performing. The people who are meant to be in your life will see your fruit. You won't have to convince them. The opportunities that are meant for you will find you. You won't have to manipulate them. Silence is an act of trust. It is saying, "God, I trust you to handle my reputation. I trust you to open the doors. I trust you to fight my battles." As we approach the end of this message, I want to give you a challenge for your home. Tonight, try to have a dinner without screens and without complaints. Ask your family questions and just listen. If tension arises, be the thermostat, not the thermometer. A thermometer just reflects the temperature of the room. A thermostat changes it. You change it by not reacting. You change it by responding with a soft answer or with silence. Watch how the atmosphere shifts. The next phase of your life requires a new version of you. The version of you that needed to tell everyone everything cannot enter the promised land. That version belongs to the wilderness. The wilderness is noisy. The promised land requires strategy. Joshua told the people to march around Jericho in total silence. Can you imagine? A huge army, marching for days, not saying a word. The psychological terror that must have inflicted on the people inside Jericho. They were expecting war cries, taunts, noise. Instead, they got silence. It unnerved them, it destabilized them. And when the command finally came to shout, the walls fell flat. Your silence is building up a spiritual resonance that will bring down walls. But you must hold it. You must hold the tension. Do not let the enemy bait you into a premature shout. Do not let him bait you into a premature complaint. Hold your peace. The Lord is fighting for you. The angels are positioning themselves. The layout of your life is being rearranged, but this surgery requires anesthesia. It requires you to be still. If you move on the operating table, you might get hurt. Be still and know that He is God. I want you to visualize a seal over your lips, a golden seal of divine wisdom. Every time you are tempted to gossip, visualize that seal. Every time you want to lash out in anger, feel that seal. It is protecting your destiny. It is keeping your treasure inside. It is saving your home from unnecessary fires. This is not a permanent vow of silence. There is a time to speak, and when that time comes, your words will have weight. They will have authority. Because they have been tempered in the fire of silence, they will strike like lightning. But for now, in this specific season, the instruction is clear. Hush. Wait. Watch. Pray. Let God work. If this message has resonated with your spirit, it is not an accident. You were led here because your spirit was craving this correction. You knew deep down that your mouth has been a source of leakage. You knew that you have been giving away your power. Today, the leak stops. Today, the power begins to accumulate. I encourage you to subscribe to the channel, not just to watch another video, but to join a community of people who are learning to walk in spiritual intelligence. We are not just looking for motivation. We are looking for transformation. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next briefing. The spiritual landscape is changing fast, and you need to stay equipped. In the comments below, I want you to make a declaration. Don't tell me your big plans. Don't tell me your secrets. Just type this simple phrase, I will move in silence. Let that be your covenant today. Let that be the signal that you have received the instruction. I will move in silence. Remember, the enemy is watching, but so is God. And God has the final say, but He is waiting for you to stop speaking so He can start moving. Your breakthrough is quiet. Your miracle is in the hush. Go in peace, guard your home, and let your silence be the loudest thing about you. This is the deeper layer of the revelation. We have established the what and the why, but now we must address the how in the heat of the moment. It is easy to agree with this message while you are calm, watching this video. It is much harder to practice it when the phone rings, and it's that relative who knows exactly how to push your buttons. It is harder when you are staring at a bill that you don't know how to pay, and the fear rises up your throat, demanding to be spoken. Let's talk about the spirit of chatter. This is a real distraction. Have you ever noticed that when you decide to pray or focus on a goal, suddenly everyone wants to talk to you? Your phone blows up. People drop by. This is not a coincidence. It is a coordinated effort to break your focus. The enemy knows that focus is the laser that cuts through obstacles. If he can scatter your focus with chatter, he can keep you trapped. You must become ruthless with your time and your attention. You are not being rude. You are being focused. You are guarding the sanctuary of your mind. There is also a connection between silence and healing. Many of you are carrying physical ailments that are exacerbated by stress. Every time you retell the story of your trauma, you re-traumatize your body. Your cells react to the story as if it is happening right now. You are flooding your system with cortisol. When you choose silence, When you stop rehearsing the hurt, you give your body a chance to heal. You switch from the sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, to the parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest. Silence is medicine. Silence is therapy. Consider the story of Joseph. He had a dream of greatness. He told his brothers. What happened? They threw him in a pit. His mouth got him in trouble. But watch his evolution. Years later, when he was in prison, he had learned. He interpreted dreams for others, but he didn't brag. When he stood before Pharaoh, he didn't say, "I am a great dream interpreter." He said, "It is not in me. God will give Pharaoh an answer of peace." He had learned to deflect the glory. He had learned to measure his words. And because of that maturity, he was trusted with the governance of the entire known world. You are in your pit or prison phase right now, learning the lessons that will sustain you in the palace phase. Do not despise this training. We also need to address the concept of casting down imaginations. The battle starts in the mind before it reaches the mouth. You have entire arguments in your head with people who aren't even there. You rehearse what you are going to say to your boss. You replay the fight with your spouse, thinking of better comebacks. This mental noise is just as damaging as spoken noise. It drains your spiritual battery. The command to be still applies to your mind as well. When these thoughts come, you must arrest them. Do not give them a voice. Do not let them rent space in your head. Let's look at the financial aspect of this. Wealth whispers, poverty screams. Look at the truly wealthy and powerful. They are often understated. They don't flash everything. They don't talk about every deal. They move in silence. If you want to build generational wealth for your home, you must adopt the posture of a steward, not a showman. Keep your financial moves quiet. Do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. This protects you from the parasite spirit, people who only come around when they smell money. If you look broke but are building wealth, you are safe. If you look rich but are drowning in debt, you are in danger. Silence protects your assets. I want to give you a specific prayer strategy for your home. Walk through every room in your house when you are alone. Do not say a word, just walk. Anoint the dough. Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life. A guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you, and strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10 Zuzazara readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who are tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment.